Hey, good morning. It's time for our Monday morning podcast, and I was thinking about yesterday's message, and Mike really did a good job laying out, do I really care what other people think about me? And he used the life of David as a great example. And as much as we would all like to be brave and bold and say that, no, we don't care what people think about us, in all actuality, we really do. But I want to remind us that we should not be so concerned about what other people think of us, but we need to be very concerned about what God thinks about us. And yesterday, I was encouraged to listen to a message from another pastor. His name is Greg Lowry, and you can hear him on KCFY, our local Christian radio station, 88.1. And you'll hear him on a daily, if you want to call it devotional, that he does. But he preached a message that it might be worth your time listening yesterday, and it was stand your guard, or stand your ground, stand your ground, and it came from Ephesians chapter 6. And he talked a lot about what's going on in our country, and he gave what I would believe would be one of the most biblical responses we could give in today's society. So if you've got a few minutes, okay, you can find that at harvest.org, and then up on the top right-hand corner, you can just search Stand Your Ground, and it'll pop up his message that he preached. Again, might be worth a good listening. I was reading from that passage that he quotes, and it says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood." I hope that you heard a little bit of verse 12, that our struggle is not against flesh and blood. It's not against anybody who thinks differently or views differently than you do. Matter of fact, it's not against anybody that bleeds like you and I do, because our struggle's not against them. Notice who he says the struggle is against. It's against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual fortresses of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, because there is a great spiritual battle going on, you take up the full armor of God, so that you will be able to resist in the evil day, and having done everything, to stand firm. Man, let me tell you something. If there is ever a day that we need to stand firm based on the Word of God, it's in a day in which we live today. Let that encourage you to be ever present, putting on the armor of God, because the days are evil. And to remember that our struggle isn't against flesh and blood. It's against the spiritual forces of this day. I am looking forward to getting back into speaking next Sunday. Looking forward to it as we pick back up on our series, Don't Believe It, and then the tagline, the dumb things that smart people believe. Going to be kind of a neat perspective of looking at, does God have a blueprint for my life? And we're going to discuss that in depth on Sunday morning. All three services. We have lots of activities coming up. We are just a week out from the students. Matter of fact, a week from today. The students will be starting their Engage opportunity here. If you've not already signed up, you really need to get a hold of Mike and pay your deposit, and then be here next Monday. Your students should have all the information, and Mike has guaranteed me that he sent home a pack of paper with all the information on it. If you've not received that, make sure you contact Mike at Oasis Yuma, and get you the information. Also, right after that, we load up for children's camp. This year, we're taking, I think, 46 people to children's camp. And that's exciting to me, to be taking that many kids to camp. I know our sister church, Ecclesia, is taking about 25. And that's a great blessing for us to go up there and see what God is going to do in the hearts and lives of boys and girls. Now, we should be in prayer about that already, about what God is doing, what we're asking God to do in their life. And then we come back and do family camp, and that's going to be a great opportunity to get out of the heat and go up there and enjoy some time up around Pine Valley in that area where it's a little bit cooler in the evenings. Looking forward to that as well. And then we'll come back, and believe it or not, we're going to be in August. And that means school's going to be starting, small groups are going to be starting back up. Remember, we have a small group meeting this Thursday at 7 o'clock if you're a small group leader. Lots of things going on in the church. Hopefully you're reading your bulletin, and I am looking forward to seeing all the people who've been on vacation back. If you're listening to us via podcast, we miss you, and looking forward to seeing you as your families start to roll back into town. Believe it or not, Mike's behind the camera. Mike, we have about a month before school starts again. It's hard to believe. It seems like kids just got out, and they're going to be going back to school. Exciting opportunities all around us. Looking forward to what God is going to be doing. Would you be praying for me? Would you be praying for our church, please? There's lots of things that are going on. The church is God's bride. I want God to be proud of this specific bride. And so would you be praying for that as we continue to move forward in reaching people for the cause of Christ? We'll see you on Sunday, if not before. God bless you.